Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
To start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes. All right. There it is. There it is. What is up? 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 How are you? How are we? How are we? How we doing? What is going on? Are we here? Are we here? Are we here? That can close. Oh, gracious. I have this window open. Hold on, guys. I got this dumb window open. No, I don't need to save that. No, I don't need any of that. I don't need this. What's that doing open? Okay, get rid of that. Actually, let's keep that up. We might need to refer to that. Boom, we're in the house. What's up, people? What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? We up in here. Okay, we're up in here. What is happening, people? What is happening? Tim Black's Wolfpack in the house. What's going on, Wolfpack? What's happening, Wolfpack? Yeah. My people, my people, my people. It's not quite midnight. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. I told Mrs. Black, I could be up by maybe 9:45. Sorry, baby. I love you, though. So what's happening, y'all? What's going on? I got my people in the house, Facebook and YouTube in the place. What's going on? What is the goings on, Johnson? Here we go. Here we go. Craig, Lady Jackie, David Melford, Tony D. What is going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you, Keith Weston in the house. The wrenches are in the house. The wrenches have it. Ramona Lawson, what's up, sis? What is going on? Oh, my goodness gracious. What a night, what a night, what a night. We got it going on. We are all systems ready to go. hearing it. I hope you guys are hearing it. The phone number should be on the board. 319-527-6212 is the number that you dial into. If you want to holler at the people, you ain't got to literally holler at them. It's just a term of endearment, a way that we communicate. And, wow, we got some stuff to talk about tonight because a lot's happened. And we're also going to talk about some things that have not been talked about. Putting out some hypocrisies in our democracies. Andre Gale up in the house, up on the board. What's up, Andre Gale? What up, my brother? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I'm saying. See, I make the titles of the show all weird. Like, what is he going to talk about? It's nothing. What is this? I don't know. It's what I do with my podcast. With the Pause Podcast, I kind of make things open-ended with a little something in there. You know, because I can't put everything in the title anyway. Because tonight's show, we're going to talk about Jon Stewart did an interview with Cory Booker, and they're talking about dismantling racism. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some updates about the Kentaji Brown Jackson hearings and some stuff that wasn't talked about that we talked about before on this show, but because most people haven't been tuning into me like they should, that's mandated by our ever omnipresent overlords. It's been mandated and handed down by our rulers that you must listen to Tim Black TV. Now, you may have missed some stuff, so I want to bring you up to speed on that. We also want to talk about a woman who had guns pulled on her by the police in Arlington, Texas. And case of mistaken identity. Mistaken identity. But our lead story tonight will be the shutting of a news organization that just got going. Just got started. They shut it down, Johnson. We're going to talk about that. Yes, folks, I'm talking about the Black News Channel. Doors have been shut. They officially shut down. We're going to talk about that. So, as I stated, we got a lot going on tonight, so a lot to talk about. Our plan is to get to it all. And then, of course, we go to phone lines. Because it ain't no fun if the Wolfpack can't have none. Come on now, Johnson. It ain't no fun if the Wolfpack can't have none. Wolfpack got to get theirs. Wolfpack in the house. Tim Black's Wolfpack in the house, guys. And we are Context Matters. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Context Matters got me a bunch of listing materials. So context like, Tim, you need to know this, man. Here you go. Oh, my context, man. And here you go. And, bruh. Come on, bruh. All this homework. I know, man. I know it's a lot. One more. Bam. Hit me with one more, man. But it's all good, man. My people care, man. My people care. My people care. And look, that's what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? So, unfortunately, it's just me up here talking, running my mouth. So I got to know stuff. And you guys want to let me know about different topics. That's cool shit, you know? Just never take it personal if I don't get right back or whatever, because I got a lot going on, man. I got a lot to do. I'm stressed out, man. I got so much on my plate. It's a little overwhelming at times. I don't know if I can actually get to it all. You know, it's a lot going on here. At my ends, the wit of my ends, or the ends of my wits. It's a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? So, as long as you don't go like, damn it, Tim Black, I gave you this last week, sir, and I didn't get a response. What's the problem? Because some people get like that. Don't laugh. There are people that get, I DM'd you, Tim Black. I didn't see it. Last September. September 16th. I remember the exact day. I sent you a DM. You didn't get back to me. What's your name again? Banana Peel 22. Yeah, I sent you a DM. You didn't get back to me. Well, anyway, let me proceed to pretend that I know you personally and that we've dialogued in the past extensively. Let me be an asshole, Tim Black. And you guys be surprised that people do that. Hey, how you doing, Tim Black? Hey, man, remember me, man? I called 2 years ago on a Thursday. Yeah, you probably don't remember that. I don't know. You're getting old, Tim Black. You probably don't remember. Anyway, like I was saying, hasn't listened to the show since. Calls up, doesn't know what we're talking about, does not care. But I should remember him because, damn it, he's who he is. And that's America, Johnson. That's what America is. That is who we are. Self-indulgent, entitled, prima donna-ass people with first world problems. Some of us got third world problems. Keep it real, Johnson. Yeah. When you rely on that penny bank, I guess it could be piggy bank. Counting them pennies at the Safeway at the local, the best thing that came in I know when I was in my 20s, man. Was it my 20s? Well, I remember when Safeway came up with a supermarket Safeway. I don't know if you got those in your area. I've been to a couple states. I saw some weird supermarkets like, the hell is this, Johnson? Got weird names. Tony T's. Well, a popular one on the East Coast is Safeways. They came up with this machine where you could take your pennies and dump them in, and they give you back real money. So that used to be my friend, Johnson. Yeah. Clank, 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 clank. Clank, 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 clank. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. It's hard. It's things have changed, man. Things have changed. My mom used to send me to school with 50 cents of pennies. My penny rolls, Johnson. How many people took penny rolls to school for lunch? How many people did that? Yeah, Johnson. Those were the days. Help your mother roll them too. And they're just filling it up. That's right, Johnson. Hard times. Hard times. And that's actually good because sometimes being that line, getting that peanut butter sandwich. And it's also important to know, guys, sometimes, everybody's not broke. There are a lot of Americans who can't relate at all what I'm saying. They're like, Tim Black, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? In fact, true story. I had never been on an airplane until 2015, I think it was. Never been on an airplane until 2015. And the only reason why I was on an airplane was because I did a video that went viral, and CBS invited me to come on the Dr. Phil show. And they provided the airfare and a hotel. And I went to LA. Yep, and that was my first time on an airplane. Now, I've been on the airplane since then, but that was my first time in the air, Johnson. By my damn self. Going to the Dr. Phil show. And I remember being on a panel maybe 6 months later at an event, and there was a lot of progressives there. Back when Nick Banana wasn't a bad guy. Lee Camp and Jimmy Dore and Neil. What's the guy that does the comedy? Rob Lacone, I think Rob Lacone was there. We were on this panel about independent media. And there was somebody that worked with Nick was on the panel, right? Nick Branner from the White People's Party. This was way before this. This is 2015, 2016. And I was telling this story about something, and I was talking about, first time I was on the plane, I didn't go on the plane until 2015, and the lady looked at me like in shock. The one that worked with Nick was in shock, like, and it was like obvious, like and I still got the video. She was in shock, like, my God, the blacks really do have it bad. It's like, forget you, lady. What are we living in the 1% world, huh? I'm up here with a bunch of 1%ers. Bunch of 1%ers up here. Yeah. They didn't understand at all poor people struggle, the black people struggle. You get reminded that you are black, Johnson. It happens. I was reminded that day. And not just black, poor black. That's right. So working class, if you relate to working class, you ain't got to be black to be broke. Yeah, America let anybody be broke. Yeah. You know how many people, the number one bankrupter of Americans is healthcare. You just want an operation away. A lot of people talk smack. I'm doing well. I'm doing well, damn it. I want to invest in the crypto and the NFTs, and you better get you some JOBs. Because if you get sick or get an STD, you may be living on the STREETS. And won't nobody care, because that's how America is. We ain't got a lot of empathy for people on hard times, so we blame your hard times on you. Because in America, anybody could be rich. Anybody can be rich. Especially if you got the right connections, if you get lucky, if you hit the lottery, a lot of things. So, guys, I'll tell you all that to say this is random monologue time, Johnson. Some of you relate to it, though. You know? Some of you relate to it. Yeah, I looked around, I was like, God, I'm around a bunch of people that had a lot of, people from L.A. And first of all, if you live in L.A., you got some money, because you don't live in L.A. broke. Let's make that clear. And then other people had shows on networks that paid them good money, and I'm sitting over there with my independent asses. See what I can put together, Johnson. Let's see what I can put together. Trying to make it happen. Trying to make it happen, Johnson. But look, guys, we are all doing the same thing. We're all out here trying to make it happen. We got belief systems. That's what brings us all together as a Tim Black Wolfpack. So I want to give it up to all my Tim Black Wolfpack people out here holding it down. I feel you. You feel me. We relate to each other. We know what time it is. We know it's us against them, right? So let's not lose sight of that. Well, look, guys, I guess we're good enough. Let's get into Black News. Let's get into the Black News channel. Let's do this. Now, anybody who's unfamiliar with the Black News channel, let me bring you up to speed real quick, because I was surprised. A lot of people was like, the Black News channel shut down. Other people was like, we had a Black News channel? I didn't know we had a Black News channel. Ha-ha! First problem. Not a lot of people even knew this shit existed. That does not bode well. But okay, let's take a look at this in case you don't know. Let me bring you up to speed on this, fam. Black News Channel shuts down, Johnson. The channel, backed by Jacksonville Jaguars owner Shahid Khan, launched in 2020. Now, Black News Channel was a 24/7 national news network committed to covering Black and brown communities. The Black News Channel is a 24/7 national news network. I'm reading this from an article about the station that identifies the station. And it says the news network committed to covering Black and brown communities. How many people see the first problem with this? First problem, out the gate. Well, you call yourself the Black News Channel. And it says you're committed to covering black and brown communities. Little messaging problem there. Once you call yourselves the BBNC, the Black and Brown News Channel. Because see, once again, somebody learned, come on now, come on. Let's stop there. Let me put my foot in the ground, man. Let me cross this over. Why are you calling yourself the Black News Channel, man, if you're covering brown people issues? And remember, brown people issues are a lot of different brown people. It's a lot of brown people. Y'all, see, these liberals, man, and some of these progressives, they love to use this language because it feels right. People of color. Do you realize people of color is everybody on the planet except for white people? You know how many people that is? Let me put it this way. If you're going to have a cookout, if you said, hey, man, I'm inviting all the people of color, you better make sure you got a whole lot of food, Johnson, because that's a whole lot of people. But it just sounds right, Tim. It sounds right to say we want black and brown people. You know who it don't sound so right to? Black people. Yeah, black people are black people. Black people, African Americans who grew up in America, who were, formerly enslaved, formerly enslaved, disenfranchised, who have a through line, from Busta Rhymes to Check the Rhyme with Q-Tip to, Thurgood Marshall to Clarence Thomas to O.J. Simpson to Bill Cosby to, Kelly Price to R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? To Confunction to Isaac Hayes to Denzel Washington to Clayton Powell to MLK to Malcolm X. See all this? See this blackness? Black people. Black people. But when you say brown people, you're talking about a lot of people. Ricky Ricardo, the doctor guy that's, doing the doctoring, but he's really a comedian who was a doctor. That guy to a lot of people. The point is, there's a lot of people. A lot of people. And I know it sounds good to say that everybody has the same interest at heart, but what I'm saying is, when you state your claim, if you said, hey, this is a liberal network, this is a left-wing network, this is a conservative network, you wouldn't then say conservative and liberal, because you realize the interests of these people are specific to those people. So I got a problem just with the name, but I don't want to get too hung up on it. All I'm saying is, that's the first problem. Second thing, the Tallahassee-based company, News Network, reportedly failed to meet payroll today. They failed to meet the payroll today, Johnson. First of all, that's bullshit, because if the owner is Mr. Khan. I don't have it right here, but his name is Khan. Khan is a billionaire. He owns the Jaguars. He has a whole lot of money. He only had 200 employees. I think if he wanted to, he could make the last payment. I don't want to be pocket watching or nothing, but if you're a billionaire, you could pay out a couple $100,000. You know what I'm saying? You could do that if you wanted to do that. Let's just say he decided not to pay him. Okay? Now, according to reports, they told their staffers yesterday that their paychecks will be delayed. And then he delayed them. He failed to be payroll today after telling staffers that their paychecks would be delayed. That's kind of weird. Did he say, hey, I ain't got y'all. I got you, but I don't got you right now. I got you, but I got you later. When you let people go, you should have their paychecks in hand. Shake hands, and in that hand you shake their hand to tell them have a good life. Use your paychecks, and it's right there. Anyway, BNC reportedly has 230 staffers, and all of them will be out of work, likely by the end of the day. Not good, Johnson, not good. Okay, so let's just stop here. Let's stop here and let's say this, man. People losing their jobs is never a good thing. Not unless you want to lose your job. And if that's the case, you didn't lose your job, you quit your job. So any issues I have with Black News Channel, it's not directed to the people, and I think the people should get their paychecks. I support the workers, even though I know some of these workers they're good to go. Like Charles, I don't think Charles Blow, Mark Lamar Hill, and Sharon Reed, three of the biggest names at this network, I don't think they have any problems. I don't want to, how can I say this? See, what you don't want to do is offend Black people about their money, okay? I'm not saying Mark Lamar Hill looking for a place to live. I'm saying if you owe that man, pay that man. Because what he has in the bank is none of my business or your business. You had an agreement to pay him, you should pay him. But my real concern are the people that are lower down the totem pole who may be living paycheck to paycheck. Because I don't think everybody is banking and rolling, okay? I don't think everybody is getting the same amount of money. So that's a point I want to make, okay? So one thing I don't appreciate are the people dancing for other people losing their jobs. You lost your job. You want nobody tap dancing about it. Yeah, all right. Half of you don't work for Black companies. Some it was a Black wasn't a Black-owned organization anyway. Where you work at, Johnson? Where you work at? Because a lot of y'all don't want to do the shit I'm doing, which is work on your own and survive by your wits. So most of you do not work at Black-owned organizations yourselves. Okay? That's so let's keep it real. And people don't always get to choose who owns the company that they work for. And then that in charge of marketing. Right? Okay. For background on this, it was formed in 2019. Former U.S. Representative J.C. Watts out of Oklahoma served as a chairman, and Florida media executive Bob Brillante, the channel CEO who left only a couple months after the launch. I wonder what happened with that. There was a problem with the vision. Another red flag. People not seeing eye to eye off the break. You mean you a CEO, you come in the door, you help set up this company? Help create the structure? And only a couple of months after the launch, you say, I've seen enough. Let me cut my losses. I got other things to do. This ain't gonna work for me. No matter how it went, it seems disjointed. The channel debuted after Jacksonville's owner and billionaire businessman Shad Khan made a $50 million investment 3 years ago, making him the majority shareholder. So Shad Khan is not the sole owner, but he is the majority owner. Okay. Now here goes some other interesting tidbits about this. No, Tim, you can't just breeze past that. Shad Khan is, I don't know. This is background. He's Indian. He's from India. I don't know his ethnicity. Okay. One of the concerns people have, or that one of the things that people have been saying, is Black News Channel owned by a non-Black entity. And you think we'd be used to that by now, because most of our supposedly Black-focused media is owned by people that aren't Black. Most of it. Like 95% of it. Like the Oprah Network, BET. Like these, most of these entities are owned by someone other than Black folks. But it's focused on Black folks, meaning they're targeting Black the Black consumers. That's it. So there you go. Does that have something to do with the focus of the channel? Does that have something to do with the channel not being successful? I really don't know, Johnson. But we're going to get to some numbers that are problematic, no matter what your demographic is, no matter who's owning it. They were set up to be successful. Let's make this clear. Very set up to be very successful. Listen to this. The Black News Channel reached over 52 million homes. 52 million homes, Johnson. We're talking Cox, Comcast, Xfinity, DirecTV, Charter, Spectrum, Dish, and Verizon, Fios. So they're getting the access. People can see them. Like, dog, I know I'm upset all the time because I'm unable to reach anybody out there who has content, whether it was blogs or video or music, anything that you're promoting, any artist, any creator. You know how important it is to have your work in front of people, to get eyeballs on your work, to get viewers. That's the only way you can get in the game. You can't win if people don't get to see it. People don't get to experience it. You can have the dopest beats. You can have the best singing voice. You can have the best moves. You can put out great content. You can have a great storytelling ability. You can be funny as hell. I don't care what it is. But if you can't get stage time, if you can't get screen time, if you can't get your products in front of eyeballs, if you can't get your songs listened to, then it's like it doesn't matter because it's not getting exposure. That's not something the BNC could say was the problem. Because they were put on the shelf in front of 52 million U.S. homes. A month. And of that audience, the average audience for BNC was fewer than 10,000 viewers, according to Nielsen data. Folks, this is bad, Johnson. This is bad. 52 million. Now, I've had some videos that I've done that had a click-through rate of 10%. This has started off at 10%. If you got a 10% click-through rate of 52 million, 10% of 52 million is 5 million. That means their click-through rate, because click-through rate is based on impressions. So if you get 52 million impressions and you only get, and you were able to get 10% click-through rate, which is good, very good. But let's say you don't do very good. Say you do half as good. 5%. 5% is still damn good. That's still 1 million, right? That's 1 million viewers. So what you're telling me is their click-through rate of people seeing that they're there and wanting to click on it was less than 1%. I mean, how did you get to 10,000, Johnson? I can't even. You crunch the numbers on that. 52 million viewers, potential, impressions. That's what they say here. All I know is what they say here. And of that, we're talking 10,000 viewers. You know something, guys? Let's not play around. Let's get to it. And look, when I heard about this, my gut instinct was, I knew it, I saw it coming. I'm not surprised at all. I'm surprised they kept it up this long. Here's why. Uninteresting. And this is what I run into all the time, Johnson. See, you don't have to be Don Lemon. You don't have to be. And please don't be Tucker Carlson. You don't have to be you don't have to be Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid. You don't have to be Anderson Cooper. Morning Joe, but you have to be interesting. You have to be unique and distinctive and different in yourself, and you have to give people an alternative to whatever else is out there. Why not just go get the regular old shit if you're going to do the regular old shit? See this? See this? See this? This is different. This is Tim Black. Now, I had some people try to group me with other black people just because we black. I don't group all white people with all white people. But for some reason, people always say, well, we've got this person, and, you and Ben Dixon and this person and that. Like, people whose ideologies are totally opposite. You and Marcus and you and this person. Like, we're not the same. But they're group us because we black. That's what they do. No connection whatsoever. There have been hardcore Trumpers I've been grouped with, or Trump-friendly people, or conspirators, or whatever you want to call them. Just people that don't even believe in voting, or people that don't believe. Just group me with them because my skin tone. We are totally different. People that group me with people that don't even put themselves on camera because they can tell their voice is black. It's crazy. People that don't go to conventions, don't go to phone drives, don't just participate in politics, don't canvass, have never canvassed, have never been on the street interviewing people, have never done anything related to politics other than sit on YouTube and say stuff. They never done any interview, haven't interviewed a single person, and haven't been on the road a single time to follow a single thing regarding to politics, ever. And somehow they go, it's in black and this person, that person. But one thing's for certain, I'm not like them when it comes to how I do what I do, because what I do is different. And that's what I'm saying. BNC, Black News Channel, as much as I like Mark Lamont Hill, as much as I like Sharon Reed, as much as I like Charles Blow, as much as I like those three main people, one different enough for me, dog. You know what would have won? And I'm not even saying, look, I'm not trying to be an ass, okay? I'm really not. But this is what would have won. You're not gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it. Mr. Khan would have made money if he would have had Dr. Umar Johnson. I said it. Tariq Nasheed, I said it. Teslin Figaro, I said it. Tim Black, I said it. I'm putting myself in that. All I'm saying is these people are different. That's all I'm saying. You want different. A different audience would have been pulled. I agree. A different audience would have been pulled. But you know what? You want a different audience. People are going to remember those people. Those people I just listed. You know them. If you know them, you know how different they are. It's not about ideology. It's not about ideology. It is about the differences. They stand out. They're themselves. They're unique. You ain't going to get them confused. You ain't going to just be like, this person's like this person's like this person. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to sound like MSNBC or sound like CNN or sound like TYT or sound like something else is out there, then why do people need to tune into that? That's all I'm saying. That's my perspective. I could be wrong because I don't know how this shit runs. I know what I do, how I do what I do. But I know I don't try to be like anyone else. I don't look to see what other people are doing. I don't care. In fact, I purposely don't even want to listen to other people. Because it gets into your psyche. I don't want to be like anyone else except myself. But how can you compete against the big boys if you sound like you're trying to be the big boys? So that's the thing. Because I know a lot of people want to chalk this up to, it's black, so black people don't care, so black people don't watch. You have to give them a reason to. And if you're going to call yourself the Black News Channel, it has to speak to black people. You cannot be schizophrenic on this shit. You got to speak directly to the issues. You can't hedge. You can't just speak to Democratic issues. You got to speak to black people issues. And believe me, Johnson, a lot of times those things are in conflict. Black people vote Democratic because they feel like they have to. Because the world has been sold, America has sold black people on the fact, or on the belief that Republicans are the racist party. So that is stuck. But your viewers are not just voters. There are people that are watched who don't vote. And they want black politics, they want black news. That's black stuff. That's black stuff. Burn It Down with Kim Brown is another one. She's different. I don't listen to these people often, but I've heard them and I know that they are different. They're different in their styles and in their deliveries and who they are. Their brands are different. They have distinctive brands that are different. That's all I'm saying. So that I don't want to take this too much further. Also, this guy, J.C. Watts, he was a former representative, right? Out of Oklahoma. He wanted to give Larry Elder a show. There was a big beef about that, right? So that's part of it. He wanted to take it into another conservative news direction. Because he was looking at the money probably. And that's where a lot of money is, by the way. And look, from a business perspective, it's money on the right. Just look around you. Everybody on the so-called left or in progressive areas are all struggling to get viewers. Mostly. Ah, man, 100,000 views. Come on, Johnson. It's not a lot of views. You go look on the right, it could be a guy who doesn't even know what he's talking about, who has no skin in the game, has no time in, and he's pulling in 100, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 views on videos about nothing, about QAnon. So that's probably what J.C. Watts was thinking. Also, there was a lawsuit. You guys heard about this? So the morale in the office couldn't be great. If you got women suing the company saying that they were underpaid compared to their male counterparts. Not very progressive. So anyway, look, I'm not here like it's hindsight's always 20/20. Everybody has an opinion, and I didn't work there, so this is just my opinion. I'm just shooting it. I'm just telling you what I think. But Charles Blow is a columnist at New York Times. Everyone knows Charles Blow. I bet you Charles Blow's sitting around. I wouldn't even put Charles Blow in that system. I put Charles Blow with a bang. I Shannon Sharp Charles Blow. Let's Shannon Sharp him. Let's give him a bottle of good cognac on the table. Him sitting back chilling. He's sitting back a chill brother. I brand him up. Give him this brand. Let's rebrand him. Take him out of the office. Have him have conversations with people he's known for the last 30 years. Charles Blow been doing the thing for 30 years. Why did you do that show? Huh? The blow up with Charles Blow. And he talk about an issue and they get into it and then he gets pissed off. You know, Charles get pissed off now and Charles blows up. I don't know, but it's different. It's a lot different than listening to Rachel Maddow go on and on about Trump's tax returns. I don't know. I mean, we got a show like 85 South Killing It with a couple guys sitting in the living room, talking shit about stuff, just random stuff. Joe Budden podcast blowing up. Couple guys, three guys just sitting there talking. The Susan Miro sitting there just talking. This is blowing up. Why I got to do all this newsy? The news. I'm a news guy and I'm going to... I gave up on that shit a long time ago, man. That's not who I am. So... these are just my thoughts. I should shut up because they probably are useful. But I'm just saying, it's like, no, where's the creativity? Why do you have to do the boilerplate shit that everyone else is already doing? You're just competing against yourself and everyone else. You compete against everyone else, but when you do your own thing, you compete against yourself. And they're reaching houses, 50 million people. If you go in front of 50 million people, you can't get more than, I don't know, a million of them to roll with you. Something wrong with your product. All right. You can't get 1 out of 50 people to go, okay. It's free. It's to watch you. That's crazy. That's crazy, Johnson. We got 200 people in here. I didn't pay anything. And I know they only sent my notifications out to a couple thousand. We still got 200 right now. So we're going to open the phone lines on this. So guys, call in if you got thoughts about it. I want to keep it moving. We got a couple other things to get to. Just seems crazy, Johnson. Seems crazy. All right. Next story, Johnson. Okay, so all week they've been talking about Kentaji Brown Jackson, about the confirmation hearings, and we've been checking that out. And that's it. I've watched it, I've covered it. And here's the thing, guys. I noticed a couple things about this while this has been going on. There's been a lot less talk about the war. Yeah, it's like she came in, and then all of a sudden, people stopped dying in the Ukraine. Interesting. It was a lot. I mean, I'm not saying it's all gone, but I'm saying it's really turned down the temperature on the war over there. Yeah, our coverage of it hasn't been quite back to back. So I thought that kind of interesting. And which also cut down the coverage on the pandemic. Pandemic's not getting the play it was. They didn't put that CD back in its case and put it, slid it under something. It's sitting in a box in the garage now. That pandemic CD, we don't know where that is. Someone wiped that off the hard drive. Where's that going? That MP3 don't load no more. What's wrong with that MP3? It must have got corrupted. That file's corrupted. I haven't heard that play in a while. Remember all those people that were dying every day? People that they stopped dying and people stopped. There's no more Venetian blinds. Variants. It's all gone now. No more. Omni rants. Omni drive. I don't know. Omicron. So it's just noticed. It's so obvious that what they really focus on is money, clicks, and sensationalism. That's the real focus, isn't it, Johnson? That's really what they're going for. Come on, man. Come on. The other thing I noticed, and I put out a tweet about this. If you don't follow me on Twitter, if you use that thing, I'm Real Tim Black. At Real Tim Black. Here's a question. Did any of the Republicans or Democrats over the last week, when asking questions of Judge Ketanji, did any of them ask her about the lawsuit? The lawsuit with Lockheed Martin, where she put a fork in it. A class action lawsuit brought by black employees at Lockheed Martin for a shooting that took place in compensation they were seeking due to discrimination. Did any of our Republican friends, or even our Democratic ones, bring it up and allow Judge Ketanji to explain herself, to explain why she decided to, put a fork in that? Why her ruling denied them their class action lawsuit to go forward? The first judge, black appointed judge in, Alabama? See if I can find this. Here we go. That's Wells Fargo. So there's a judge, I think his name is Clement, Judge Clement. He wrote a letter to Joe Biden asking Joe Biden to reconsider. He said, hey, it's great that you want to appoint a black woman, the first black woman to the Supreme Court. That's a great thing. I support that, Joe Biden. But not her. Nah, not this one. This one stood in the way of black people getting paid. This one had no reason for doing what she did, and she stopped this litigation going forward, a class action lawsuit. Now, what I'm telling you is There are some schools of thought on this. Some people are very upset. They say, why should you do that? That was wrong. It was class action lawsuit. 5,500 black employees come to a settlement. They had already reached a settlement with Lockheed Martin. Settlement is $22 million. There's 5,500 employees. The settlement will equal $4,000 per employee. Plus, there were going to be changes that Lockheed was going to make in its decision-making and its appraisals. A lot of conditions to the settlement. Now, according to the articles I've read in a couple of different news publications, in her ruling, which Judge Ketanji took her time writing, a long time writing this ruling, part of her argument was that there's different types of issues at play. There are different people with different types of basis for a lawsuit, and you can't group them all into one because they're so different. They're too disparate. I think she also said that the amount was too low. This was too meager an amount. So she found that she made a ruling, and unfortunately, it appears she took too long with a ruling that the claimants were unable to file an appeal in time. Like the time expired that they could appeal her decision. So a lot of people are upset about this. But it's important to note that the core members of that class action lawsuit did seek a settlement, did reach a settlement, and the price or the amount of that settlement is undisclosed. So we don't know if did they get a better deal because Kentaji Brown stepped in, or did they get a worse deal? We don't know that. Some people are assuming they got a worse deal, but we really don't know. Also, when there's a class action lawsuit, if you participate in it, you can't later go back and do it again. So if you take a deal and it's a bad deal, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, if the deal is a lowball deal and you take it because you ain't never had no money before, if later you wise it up and say, hey, I should have got $100,000, not $4,000, too late. See, some people think that's what she was doing. But of course, there's some of us who don't see it that way, and they feel that she was protecting the corporation. I've read articles that argue each side, okay? So each side does exist. I don't know if I'm doing them true justice, total justice in the way I'm articulating it, but this is my understanding, okay? This is how I understand it. So my thing is, guys, I listen to Republican after Republican talk about everything from child tapes to Brett Kavanaugh being treated bad on the stand, and what did Judge Ketanji think about it? Give us your thoughts. Were they mean to Kavanaugh? To critical race theory. What do you think about critical race theory? Like all these some of this shit was very hypothetical and out of her purview for the most part. What do you think about crime and should people go to jail? She was a prosecutor. Obviously, she had no problem putting people in jail. It's just maybe not for as long as you want it. But no one is a prosecutor who doesn't believe in jail. It's like being a cook but doesn't believe in food. Come on. Now, you can believe in good food, in food that doesn't kill you, in food that's, doesn't contain a lot of poison. Okay. So I'm listening to all this shit, man. I'm listening to all this time they spent talking, asking questions. But none of them wanted to ask the black lady about the black lawsuit with 5,500 black employees and one of the largest arms manufacturers in the country. That she actually made a ruling over that actually stopped people from getting money. No one wanted to ask that question. Because I really wanted to hear a response to that. Now, this is not my first time covering this. I covered this when her name was first chosen. I covered this. Why hasn't everybody else been covering this? Why isn't this an issue? I mean, the judge sat down and wrote a letter to Joe Biden. Reminds me of the letter that gosh, I want to say the right name. Martin Luther King's wife, his widow. She wrote a letter about Jeff Sessions. She wrote a letter about Jeff Sessions saying Jeff Sessions should not be appointed. He's a racist. He's a segregationist. He should not be appointed to Attorney General. They ignored it, similar to the way Joe Biden ignored this letter. But that's a letter I remember being written. Coretta. There it goes. Miss Coretta. So it's not without precedence. Meaning you could, if you cared about facts, if you cared, you could have brought this issue up. And it's a lot more, has a lot more legs to me than, what do you think about CRT? Person who doesn't teach? What do you think about QAnon theories? And what about non-federal crimes, even though that's all you've ever worked on is federal crimes as a federal judge? What do you think about crimes at the state level? Even though it's out of your jurisdiction? Just dumb questions. But stuff, red meat that people want to go after, like, Oh, and my favorite, what do you think is a woman? What's a woman? Oh, you just want me to say something so that you could say, is it a woman? Oh, you want to get into the whole gender argument? Oh, come on, man. I'm like, are you going to prove me or what? You know, there have been people that have been on Supreme Court justice who didn't even go to law school or some shit like went to like bad schools, who never really like practiced. I mean, there's been a lot of Supreme Court justices in American history. She's like one of the most qualified ever. But we all know that's not what it's all about, right? We know that's not enough. You know, if you're black, you can't be qualified enough. To some white people, no matter how qualified you are, if you are black, you are disqualified. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Now, it may not be you, but that's the way it is. Well, she didn't answer that question. Why does it matter? See, she's smarter than me because I've fallen into that before. I've been in debates with people. Well, Tim, does this? They ask you a question. What do you think? Is this a good way to make this decision? I'm like, well, I guess so. And then the person goes, gotcha. And yeah, I guess that means this and this and this thing and this other thing, the thing that pulls into this other thing, the thing that does the thing. Like, you guys don't know how debates go. That's what people do. You say, well, do you think people should go to jail? Well, if you think people should go to jail, then why didn't you lock everybody up for more parts of time? If you didn't give people the maximum amount of time every time they came before you, then that means you support their crimes and you want there to be more crime. Because there's no reason why you, working for the court, do not want to put more people in jail for the longest amount of time possible every time they cross your desk. You can always find a case or a study, or an instance that's an outlier. You can always find an instance where you were harsh. They were even asking her about people who did their time and got out and blaming her that they went back. As if that's a fault of a judge, when it's a lot of factors that contribute to recidivism. A lot of people go back to jail because they don't have any resources when they get released. No support systems. They can't get a job, they can't get housing. It's very difficult the way our system's set up. Yeah, we say you've served your time, but your time keeps on disserving you. It never leaves you. And they're cut off from the resources that would help them stay out of the system. But that didn't begin with Judge Ketanji, and that's not going to end with her. So anyway, I don't want to go back down that road. All I'm saying is this was a case. This Ross versus Lockheed is the case I'm talking about. Look it up if you'd like to get more information on it. I would have loved to be able to spend a little bit of time discussing that and a lot less time discussing what's a woman. Sounds like Jesse Lee Peterson. Tim, I went on Jesse Lee Peterson's show once. You know, Jesse Lee, the guy with the problems, hates himself, hates black people, but loves Trump, the great white hope, the great white hope. Lord take the wheel. Somebody help that man. And remember, he kept asking me that. Tim, what is a man? What is a man? Some of y'all need to go watch him. Real talk. With his dumb ass. What is a man? What is a man? Tim? What is a man, Tim Black? What is a man? I don't think she's going to save the whales. That ain't her job. She ain't going to save no damn whales, Johnson. But I would love to hear the answer to a question. That to me would have been more substantive. But it's not like I get a vote, but that would have, her response to why she made that ruling would have went a long way in me deciding, me making my determination more of a determination about what kind of justice she would be. We don't get a say in if she's going to be a justice or not. We don't get to choose her. We don't get to decide if she is approved or confirmed. This is just us talking. But that would have helped me form an opinion. Jon Stewart had Cory Booker on the show, and they were talking about racism. And guys, a lot of people, Jon Stewart has a show on Apple. It's called The Problem with Jon Stewart. And a lot of people love Jon Stewart. They just love, mwah. Especially progressives. I got some progressives that love this guy, man. He can do no wrong. He's amazing. What I like about Jon Stewart is that he's relaxed. That's all. I just like a relaxed person. I like a person, I don't feel like he's putting on airs. Not trying to sound a certain kind of way. Not trying to pretend to be. He just feels, and I know he's an actor and a comedian, so that probably helps, but it just feels natural. It's like, it's just talking, it's just saying, I like that. I like that type of delivery. I like people that are laid back. And he just never seemed like an establishment hack. But there are times, like in this video, where he seems like he doesn't have backbone. Yeah, if you're gonna talk about race with Cory Booker, you gotta keep his ass grounded. Because he's the most flighty, most abstract, soaring rhetoric that has not rooted in real life shit for real people. And you gotta know that about the guy. So my problem with Jon Stewart in this video is Jon Stewart. And his lack of nailing Cory Booker down and making Cory Booker come down to earth with the rest of us. Tell him he's not fundraising at the moment for a presidential run. Stop trying to impress the whites with how benevolent he is and just say some real shit. But okay, here goes the short clip of that interview.
Two things. So I'd love to hear your position as an observer of the human condition and then as a practitioner of the Senate, because those are two very separate things.
Right. And so look, yes. So I really want to get into the practical, but I want to start with the heart.
Please.
Because this idea that the bigotry that is evident in this country is somehow an American problem. No, bigotry is a human problem. And I can show you all around this country, all around this world, where you see those worst of human nature. What has been the investment of Americans, in particular Black Americans, if you read, Frederick Douglass's work, his hope for America as he encouraged Blacks to fight in the Civil War. Mm-hmm. As Blacks took up arms in every war to fight for this country, from Crispus Attucks, the first person to die, arguably in America, mm-hmm. to men and women who are fighting now, is fighting for an idea and an ideal that this could be a nation that represents the best of humanity. The story of America, to me, is a story of people trying to make this a more perfect union where we are a multicultural democracy based around principles and ideals, and not race, not ethnicity, but the best of our spirit. And
So why would that be hard? I mean, it sounds like such a basic premise of.
I mean, you and I have talked about this. People don't understand how fragile democratic ideals are.
Right.
They really are, far more than people think, because there's
Yeah. Hope you guys are still there. I don't even know. Hope this. Just realized I'm playing a clip and you two might not like me playing that clip. Okay, we're still here. Okay. I mean this, guys. What the hell was Cory talking about? What? Oh, America was founded. America was founded. First of all, America was founded on the idea, the belief that we are all created equal and that we can all play basketball. Now, America was founded on racism, plundering and taking of people's land, genociding the Native Americans, enslaving the blacks. That's what America was founded on. Where's this? We were not in the equation as anything other than property. 3/5 of a human being. So that was what America's founded on. And it hasn't just been moving towards bettering or being a more perfect union. That's the problem. It's been keeping rich landowners, white men, wealthy and keeping the rest of us poor, Johnson. That's what it's been. If you're in a part of that rich white landowner man class, then you were screwed. That's the problem with America. And what he's talking about is just nonsense. And come on, Jon Stewart, you know it's full of shit. You know it's flighty nonsense. If he was a white guy saying that, you would cut him off. You'd be like, what's this white guy? Why is this white guy here in the clouds? Come down to earth where, down to earth, to the pavement where they sat on George Floyd's neck for 10 minutes. Come on down. Come on down to earth. To the bullets that bounce off the ground when they shot up Breonna Taylor's home. Come on down. Let's stop this soaring nonsense. I can't stand that, and I don't know why Jon Stewart's allowing it. But one thing I like about this is I know now, if you watch this clip, I don't have to listen to you kiss Jon Stewart's ass anymore. He is fallible. Oh, Jon Stewart's the king of progressives, and he's shut up. So that's how disconnected we are, to me. That's how disconnected we are. Because I don't think he's the god of progressives. I think he's a guy with a show that I like is laid back in the talks. But this is a prime example. Still too willing to cave in to the black guy talking nonsense in the air about whatever. Am I wrong, guys? What do you think about this? Just annoying and nonsensical. And defending, it's like always, look, if you say you're not riding for black people, I get it, I understand it, man. I understand the economics behind it. I tell you all the time, if you want to be famous, get you a black audience. But if you want to be rich, get you a white audience. That's the rule, Johnson. I didn't invent that rule. I just learned about it this year. Wish they would have told me this before, though. But if you're going to say you're going to stand up for black people, and if you're going to be there talking about black issues, if you're going to talk about the 1619 Project, if you're going to talk about the 13th Amendment and how slavery still exists in this country, and these are going to be things that Cory is going to hang his hat on, at least make the guy stand up for black people and not still defend white people's feelings, like in this next clip.
So I'd love to hear your position as an observer.
Survivors of abuse, mentally ill, but by the way, disproportionately black and brown people.
Right.
And how do we not understand that that's not black people's problems for being over incarcerated? This is a cancer to the whole body of our country.
But they don't. And
Well,
so what,
when you say
what they'll
that-
say is, so there's always, I call them the butt people.
Right.
So black people are incarcerated at a level disproportionate to not only their role in the population, but to the crimes that they commit. They get stiffer sentences. They get arrested more for the same crimes that white people get off on. And if you say that, people will go, no, that's true, that's true. But
Right. So I have problems with language like they because
it's too generalized. It's
to
reductive.
sweep everybody
I get
up.
that.
I try to tell my staff, don't write me a speech where I say the Republicans.
Right.
Because that's whipping up 60 million Americans, 70 million Americans.
Right.
So let's just be specific. Undeniably, blacks and whites do not use marijuana at different rates. And in fact,
Right.
young white men have a slightly higher rate of dealing pot. But blacks are about 4 times more likely to be arrested of it. And if you
Right.
don't think this is a big problem, in 2019, the last year I have data for, there were more marijuana-related arrests than all the violent crime arrests combined.
right.
And disproportionately people of color. I went on college campuses where you smell pot in a lot of places, and nobody's raiding those places.
Didn't they know a senator was coming by? Doesn't anybody tell them that you're in the building? Or are they all just like, it's okay. It'll be fine.
He's got a big marijuana
It's
bill.
Senator Booker. It'll be
he's got a
fine.
big marijuana. He's with us.
Doesn't matter.
So look, so what does that mean?
Right.
If I got arrested for possession of marijuana, I could get a lawyer. I live in a community, low income, black and brown, majority black and brown community,
Right.
that one arrest devastates the whole family. You don't even have to serve, you don't even have to get convicted. You're away from your job, you're losing your job, you're not making rent. It tumbles people out. And so for that to be heaped upon disproportionately, it's wrong for any young kid, poor black, poor white, anybody. But to not recognize the factual reality that this is an unjust system that is implicating all of us and having a direct effect on all of us, because a person who has one marijuana conviction for doing things 2 of the last 4 presidents admitted to doing,
Right.
now has what the American Bar Association
In
says
the system.
What's that?
They're in the system.
More than that, you're now out. 40,000, according to the American
Right.
Bar Association, what they call collateral consequences. Can't get a job, can't
Right.
get a loan from bank. The marijuana war alone, the prohibition, what has done to the economic potential of disproportionately the black community, but our economy isn't separated. It has hurt the economic growth of our country. It's a self-inflicted wound.
Right.
And the lack of empathy there is hurting those folks who are facing direct oppression, but it's also affecting your well-being as well. And that's the rub.
So how do you make that argument? Because it makes a good point. So you kind of have 2 things going here, which is one is a moral argument, one is a practical argument.
Okay, Johnson. You guys still there? Because okay, good. We are there. Okay. Little delay there, Johnson. I didn't see you guys. My screen does a weird thing. So you guys are back. Well, I'm back. Check this out, guys. Once again, Jon Stewart had to know that Cory Booker's not saying anything. He's filibustering in an interview with an old friend. They started off saying, we talk many times, we friends, we cool. But then he gets to filibuster and not say anything when we talk about these issues? That's why it's important that we get people at the table that will speak truth to power. Opportunity. Jon Stewart's got a huge audience. And who does he bring on? He brings on Cory Booker to word salad you to death with facts, with numbers, good numbers. Hey, look, that's a new number. I'm going to use this. He said there are more, where's it at? There were more people locked up for simple marijuana possession last year, or in 2019, than for all violent crime combined. Just for having weed. That's a great thing to point out. I love that statistic. I'm going to use that. But unlike Cory, I'm going to say our system is racist as hell because you know where they went to get those people with that weed? Black communities. And those black communities now have people that can't get jobs. And don't tell me it's not about race because they are in black communities. They don't go to white, there are poor white communities. Let's be clear, guys. There are people that love to say class and race, and I get it. Cops are hesitant to kick rich black people's asses because they get sued. So I get that point, but let's be real, Johnson. There are a lot more poor white areas. There are a lot of poor white towns where cops could be going right now to lock up poor white kids for marijuana, and they aren't. They'll go to the poor black side of town and do that shit. So let's cut it. Let's just stop. Like, it's okay. It's okay. We want to support people who want to make their money off of white people. That's what you're going to get. It's a penalty for advocating for black people. When are people going to accept that? This is just a penalty for it. Anybody could pay it. I'd pay it. You'd pay it. If you're a white person and you're advocating for black people, you're going to pay a penalty for that. There's going to be repercussions to your career. There's repercussions for my career for doing it. There's repercussions for a politician's career. But we're going to start talking as if we can't say a thing is a thing. Then we're doing Cory Booker. We're Cory Bookering it. Then we're not being serious. We're not addressing the issue. We're dancing around the issue, which is a waste of your time, my time, everybody's time. You might as well go watch Snowfall. You know, because they got a good episode on Snowfall, a recent episode. It's really great. I'm surprised. It involves a tiger. Unbelievable. I can't believe they put a tiger in this episode. I'm sorry. It was good, though. So, folks, what I'm saying is the system's unjust, but it's built on purpose this way. It's not accidentally this way. And also, when Cory Booker's talking about all the economic implications of people being locked up for weed and what that does to our economy, it takes money out of the economy, we could just focus on that instead of focusing on the color of the people that are being punished. Let's just focus on the economical implications to the society as a whole. Here's the part that Cory's leaving out. Yes, people who are incarcerated or people that have the rap sheet can't make as much money, which will go into the system. They go down to the store and buy a TV, or they be able to rent a home or buy a car, and that money's gone from our GDP or whatever. That's true. Here's the other thing. The people that maintain our prison systems, people that maintain probations, people that charge for phone calls to the prison, that's part of our economy too. There's a lot of money being made off incarceration and all the facility, everything that's around it. So if you go back in the system, they make money off that too. And that money goes back into our economy. Has anyone done the math on what the money is that is being missed from black people going in the system who aren't able to be out to contribute to the families in their neighborhoods and their communities? And the money that's being made off them being in the system and there being a system? Because this is what I know, Johnson. This is what I know. There are a lot of people that start companies and organizations just to make money off all the write-offs. There's a lot of money to be made once you know all the tax loopholes. The organizations, the 501, whatever, that. So there's a lot of money made off of incarcerated people beyond just the jail. So it's a false narrative just to focus on the poor people that don't have jobs because they can't get jobs and how that's hurting the economy. So that'll be the incentive for people to say, hey, you know what, you're right. We're missing all this tax revenue from these people that should be working and you're locking them up for marijuana. I don't think that's going to be a motivating factor and make people join your side. This reminds me of a conversation I had with Ben Jealous. He told me something very similar. And at the time, I was kind of thrown because it was a good point. He said, Tim, America's not just a country that locks up more black people than any other country. It also locks up more white people than any other country. And I was like, word? But the problem is, white people don't know it and they don't care because when they think about locked up people, they think about black people. And that goes right back to race all over again. You can't outrun it. You don't run fast enough. Now, you can't outrun it. You can't talk about nothing else. You got to address it in the circle. Jon Stewart's willing to do that. Cory Booker's not willing to do that. That's why he's telling Jon Stewart, let's play word police. He wants to play word police. Don't say them, say they. Don't say conservative. Don't say conservatives. Say some of these people. We don't. Don't alienate the Republicans. Because they could donate to his campaign. Then, last thing before we go to phone calls, Johnson. If you are this woman and you react like this, no one should be able to say anything to you at all. This happened in Arlington, Texas. It is a travesty. Caution you about the language. But no blood, no guts, none of that. Just language. Gets a little rough. But here we go.
Survivors of abuse, mentally ill, but by the way, disproportionately.
So this is a learning curve for you? Putting guns to an innocent person back, that's a learning curve.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, I said every call, there's something to learn.
That's a learning curve. You put guns to my back. That's a learning curve for you? That's a learning curve. You put guns to my back. That's a learning curve. I could have died. And that's a fucking learning curve for you? A learning curve. A learning curve? Really? A learning curve? A learning curve? That's a learning curve, bud.
You got the call.
They put guns to my back.
Okay.
That's a learning curve?
Okay.
A learning curve? Really? A learning curve? A learning, this is my life. And you want to talk about your fucking education? A learning curve? Why are you wiping the surveillance video?
Ma'am, I can't elaborate on our investigation.
Why are you wiping the surveillance video?
Watch it. We're not allowed to wipe it.
I just heard you say until you finish wiping the surveillance video.
You misheard. Hey, the female that came out of 225 was running a... what's your best contact?
They had guns to my fucking back, y'all.
All right. Okay, guys. All right, when I saw this, okay, so just a little background on it. Arlington, Texas police puts a gun to a black woman's back, execution style, in a case of mistaken identity. They were looking for a male suspect. Then after detaining her, intimidating her, says it was a learning experience and tries to wipe the surveillance video. Now, that's what they suggest. As you see, the cop denies about to wipe the video, but she's got the video, so we're all good. TikTok user Danielle Shanks, the Texas woman, spoke to an officer after she said she was held at gunpoint under the suspicion of being a male suspect that the police were attempting to apprehend. So, first of all, is a thing called trauma. And if you ever had a gun pulled on you, you know it's a very unsettling, emotional, scary situation for anyone. I don't care who you are. And sometimes it impacts you right then, and sometimes it impacts you later. Last time I was robbed, guns pulled on me, this was 20 years ago. I still remember it. Called it the Four Horsemen in the Night. I wrote a little short story about it. But, so it's a traumatic experience. What bothers me so much about this is that police officer could have been a human being. The woman that you saw there was not the officer that put the gun to her back. But she could have been a human being about it. She could have tried to comfort this woman who's been traumatized by a member of her department. She's not who we were looking for. And a sorry goes a long way. But just like in politics and so many other things, the officer is obviously covering her ass and covering the ass of her department. Yeah, you don't want to admit wrong on cable or on film because then, hey, probably get sued. So let's not admit that we did something wrong. Let's pretend we did okay and you're overreacting. Oh, we always put guns on people and put it on their back and threaten to blow their heads off. We do that all the time. What, you're not used to that, Blackie? That's normal. You're not a human being. You can take it. Not like you're a white woman or something. Then you could be upset. Call your daddy or your sister. Call your mommy. But if you're a black woman, you're used to pain. What's wrong? It's just another day in the big city for you. And that's the implication. And that's how I feel about it, guys. That's the thoughts. Like I get that feeling like we don't allow the black women to be human beings. And then people complain about black women not being feminine enough or whatever. You know, that was one of the complaints that was alleged in the lawsuit with the BNC Black News Channel. That the women that were complaining, that were filing a lawsuit against BNC, they were saying that they had been told they weren't feminine enough. I don't know why I threw that in. I just thought I would throw that in. That's the thing. People determining other people's level of femininity. The point is this. This woman's reaction is her reaction. Anyone saying, why won't she stop yelling or being upset? You shut up. You shut up because you don't know how you would react in a similar situation. The only way to know is for you to go through it. And maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you will get to go through it. And then we'll see what you do. Maybe you'll be upset that someone could have took your life for no reason at all. You're an innocent person minding your business, and then you get a gun pulled on you. By people whose only job is to protect you. Not other people. You're one of the people they are supposed to protect. And they're about to kill you. Yeah, you might have a little bit of a problem about that. And not be expecting that to happen to you on a Tuesday. Or whatever day it was. Yeah, I don't know what happened with this case. I don't know how much of a lawsuit there is. But there's got to be some type of remedy. And to just tell somebody, well, you live and you learn. We'll do better next time. No, mofo. More needs to be said than our bad. Yeah, you know, I'll just teach the guys. I'm gonna talk to them. You won't be pulling guns on everybody like that. We got to get the wrinkles out. You know, it's a learning curve. And my officers see the learning curve is supposed to be. These learning moments are supposed to happen before you put their ass on the street and give them a gun and a badge. Yeah, like if you're learning on the job not to blow someone's head off in a case of mistaken identity, maybe you shouldn't be a cop. Standing there defending this bullshit like it's nothing, just, yes, ma'am, I was just saying that we are, we're on the job training here. We take notes. Awkward. That's because she don't want to be a part of the lawsuit. She don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize her police department. Once again, it's them against us. Them against us. And how much would it cost that lady to walk over and say, hey, I'm sorry about what happened. You okay? Sorry about that. More than sorry. I don't know how to express it, but are you okay? This should not have happened. Here's my card. Call me if you want to talk about this, or call me if you need help, or something other than, hey, what's the problem? So what, you could have died. So what? All right. All right, guys. Thank you. That's enough, Johnson. That's enough. What's on our board today? You guys want to go to phone calls? I want to go to phone calls. I'm tired of talking. Can I get some callers to help out? Get some volunteers. Can I get some volunteers to help out with the show? I appreciate y'all, man. Get some people to pitch in here with the show. I guess your assistance. Can you carry some of the weight here, Johnson? All right. I'm going to start off and cut the phones up so we're good to go there. Yes. Okay. 470, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
What's going on, Tim? This is Damon in Atlanta.
What's happening, family?
What's going on, man? I had a chance to listen to your pause on Wednesday, and I wanted to say that it resonated with me, and so I felt compelled to give you a call tonight, man, to kind of tell you that I wanted to give you your roses now, because what you said really hit me when you said that there's no money in really being pro-Black, and I really felt that, because when you look at the media as it stands currently today, the people that are quote-unquote Black, they have an agenda that the underlying message of their agenda is not pro-Black. So really, when you look at it, the money they get is not from Black entities. It's really from white-owned corporations who have a ulterior motive and don't really look to further the Black experience. And so I just want to give you your roses, man, and say I appreciate what you do. I personally, myself, I wouldn't consider myself an activist, but last year was the first year that I basically hunting and made my own money on my own, because what I did is I had my own business. And so really, there's a lot of power that comes from being able to do your own thing and not having to go to, because anybody that knows corporate America, it's not good for anybody, but especially for Black folks. Because I remember before I quit my job in 2009, my first time trying to go the entrepreneurial route, I told my wife, I was like, look, if I got to work 5 jobs, I got to do what I got to do, because if I come back to this place again, I'm going to jail because somebody's going through a window. And anybody that knows corporate America knows that's real. And so I appreciate you for what you do, because like I said, there's a lot of money in being the bootlick, the token Black dude for Fox News or for MSNBC. And I salute you for doing what you do, for staying on the grind and staying true to your principles. And I'm a proud member of the Wolfpack. And so anybody that's not a member of the Wolfpack, I highly recommend you to sign up, because really where you spend your money is where you show what your values are. And so if we want pro-Black advocates, we got to support the ones who are about that life. And Tim, through the years, he's proven that he's about that life. So again, Tim, I'm gonna give you back your show, but I want to kind of tell the Wolfpack that there's a good brother right here. So put your money where your mouth is. Wolfpack.
My brother, man. Give it up for my caller D, man. That's damn, brother. Yeah, we follow similar trajectories, brother, because I think that's about the time I started doing this full time, as far as when I had to, me in corporate America wasn't working out, and that's, you come to that realization, and it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough there. It's tough here. I like this better, of course, because as we say, you get to look yourself in the mirror. You get to feel good about what you do. But, yeah, I appreciate you, man. I do. You want people to advocate. And you know what? And to my white audience, it's the same thing, If someone's going to fight for working class people, for you, right? Which I also feel I fight for working class values. Working people that who weren't born with, trust funds and who are not the 1%, who have money challenges, who don't, everything's not all comfortable for them. You know what I'm saying? And it matters when the price of a chicken wing goes up, or when gas goes up, or when these things happens to the economy. It impacts you in a real way. That's no joke. And when they won't raise the minimum wage, when healthcare is a commodity, not a guarantee, and I should say a luxury. when healthcare is a luxury, when people decide what they can do with their lives, when young people decide what they can do with their lives based on how much money they have, not based on what they want to do. We all lose. You know what I'm saying? So, if you had people that weren't talking from that vantage point, but they said they were, you know what I'm saying? They said they were talking from that vantage point, but in reality, they're on some other ish, like they really are caping for the corporations. Man, that's a betrayal. So I know you understand what I'm talking about, because that happens all the time with these folks. Well, that's how black folks feel. When people say, because people just assume, wrongfully, of course, that black people, because of black skin, because of skin tone, that they're fighting for black people issues, when they aren't. And black people issues ain't nothing but poor people issues as well. Just accelerated, hyper, more of them. So we have something in common, but to pretend that race doesn't exist is just stupidity, in my opinion. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to pretend that the cops don't know what they're doing when they do what they do. It's just go to the poor side of town. No, I don't think. But I'm going to go here to my next call, though. What? Let me go to 562. I'm sorry, 562, you're live. What's cracking?
Yo, what's up, Tim Black? It's your boy Marvin from California. How's everything?
What up, brother? What's up?
Hey, man, so props to the caller who preceded me. I agree 100%. If you value where your news comes from, you need to support it. I've been a long time supporter of Tim Black, and like that caller said, if you value it, you need to support it. So I wanted to call in actually tonight to make a comment on Black News Channel, and I'm not trying to pile on to people losing their jobs. You had a I don't know if it was a Tuesday or a Friday night, or if it was just a regular pause night. This was probably last month or not, something like that. And you made a comment that really stuck with me. For people who maybe heard me for the first time, I've been calling in for a minute. Being Tim Black is about the same age. And, we both brothers. So there's some things that, kind of cross over, right? So Tim Black had made a comment, I'd say about a month ago on one of his shows about, people got to eat. They need to pay their bills. They need to, he wasn't dismissing things that people do necessarily, but he was understanding the fact that if people got jobs, you got responsibilities that come with your pay. You got responsibilities to make sure that, electricity stay on and you got gas in your car and shit like that, right? So my thing about Black News Channel was the fact that they never went black enough. But at the same time, Tim Black has actually proved the point in what he's been saying over this last, I don't even know how long Tim Black has really been hard on it. But you reiterated the point tonight, is that when you go all out in support of Black, you're not gonna, you're gonna lose something. And so Black News Channel didn't go black enough, but at the same time, white people, most, maybe, white people was only going to listen to Black issues, Black focused issues for so long. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what was the target audience? You know what I'm saying? You call yourself Black? Yo, I subscribed to their channel when they first came out. It was like boom, bam, bam. I was like, all right, but it quickly came to be like, yo, on the real, Tim Black was more of the Black News Channel than the Black News Channel. And that's not a plug, so to speak, but I mean, that's just telling the truth. That's just telling the truth. Longtime supporter, Tim Black has been the Black News Channel longer than the Black News Channel has been the Black News Channel, and now they, going out of business. So I'm going to close my shit by saying, if you value where you get your news and info from, support your independent media. Peace, Tim Black. Peace, Wolfpack.
My brother, man. I'm glad you said that, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, Marvin. And shout out to you and the brothers at the Reset Race Network. And I hope you guys are doing well over there, man. And if it was up to me, man, I'd have you, Reset Race, Information Man, Teslin, and a host of a few others. If it was up to me, y'all all have your own show and you have your own control over it. I wouldn't have nothing to say about what y'all put down. Sam would have her own show, and so would Mud, you know what I'm saying? And however, whatever capacity you would want to rock it, that's what you'd be rocking it, Marvin. It was up to me. I appreciate that, brother. I really do, man. And, we go way back. So Marvin been coming through for like 10 years, man. So, and you're right. They did not go black enough. And when you have money to do so, so one of the things about my show is I've always had a black focus, but I have increased my black focus. But I've always had black focus. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. That's who I am. That's how I grew up. Working class, regular issues, family guy. You're going to hear my family stuff. Talk about my family relationships, my kids, and that's what it is. I think it was just missing a level of realness. Just down home, relaxed, real, and that's just my opinion, because it's not about the skill level. Mark Lamont Hill is a professor. He knows this. He knows the shit. Bottom line, okay? Sherman Reed, seasoned Atlanta newscaster. Charles Blow, columnist, author. Come on now, these people know that it's just the framing of that. And that's just the three. There were many others I could list who are also very talented. So we gotta let people do their thing. Do your thing. All right, I'm gonna keep it moving, man. To the next call. I appreciate y'all. 360, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment? 360. Hola. I got nothing. I hear nothing on this phone call. Okay. I have another 360 in the queue. I'll try that one. 360, what's your name? What's your comments? Hello?
Tim, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Hello, Tim, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Who's this?
Okay, this is Ramona.
Ramona, you're really faint, Ramona. Very low.
Okay, maybe because I had you on speaker. Sorry about that. Is that better?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Go ahead. Give it a shot.
A little bit better? Oh, darn it.
There you go. No, that's good. No, that was good.
Briefly, the whole war coverage that you kind of went into last week and touched on this week as well sure brings home the idea of who among us victims that we can feel sorry for and those that we can ignore. The people among us that could sure use some help when we get driven from our homes, other than the Ukrainians. And I don't want to preface it with I feel sorry for them also. But it just seems like we have wall-to-wall coverage for some pretty upscale-looking refugees. Anyway, I just look at my people that are out there homeless, and I think, boy, if we just had some coverage on how tough it is for them, maybe some money would pour in. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much for being here. Good to talk with you.
No problem. Bye. Give it up for my caller, y'all. I hope I'm understanding you correctly. I think I get what your point is. I think you were saying that the focus is on one set of victims, but not on the other set of victims. And I guess you're relating to like Yemen, for instance, and other places where people are suffering as well that doesn't get the media coverage. I get that. I make the same claims about us here domestically, about what's going on in America. We don't get coverage. I mean, we don't talk about, like we've heard over and over about Flint water. And it still took 5 years to really put a dent in it. But Flint doesn't even have the worst water in the country. So there is no coverage on that issue at all. Environmental issues go to the wayside all the time. I have a story I'm still trying to get done about cancer. A town in Louisiana that's full of cancer. People have been catching cancer there at crazy rates due to what they believe is pollution, chemical pollution by a farm or some type of manufacturing process that was done there. So some type of plant where people have been infected and the chemicals have gotten to the ground and into the water, and people are developing cancers at extraordinary clips. Damn it, I feel like I'm saying things and taking too long to say it. So anyway, no one's talking about it. And I'm just waiting on an EPA person, someone to be able to speak to the issue so that we can have an articulate conversation that gives people something more than just me listening to the victims talk. Because we definitely got that. We got no shortage of people affected by it, but we want some professionals to be able to speak to what's happening. Well, I would have done that story a month ago. But that's just one example of what I've been seeing, folks. So it's horrible, it's horrific. So the same arguments that we have about Ukraine versus other places that don't get coverage, same thing happens in all other types of issues. Whether it be boycotts, whether it be harassments on jobs, whether it be police encounters, whether it be corruption in law enforcement. I run across all kinds of stories that get no play. I'm going to keep it moving, guys. 517. You're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
There you go. This is Lynn from Michigan.
Okay, Lynn, what's on your mind?
Hi. Just appreciating all the truth and the relevance, and I hope I can wax poetic here for a couple of minutes because I got this poem called Now that I wrote. As a farmhand and vendor, RN and housefrau, I've owned pit bulls, birds, cats, and a huge fluffy chow. I'm not less nor more than indeed thee or thou, so I know that it's high time to cut the check now. We don't have a system as laid down by Mao, nor would I want to see him at the head of the bow, but it's time to load each corporate leech on a scow and haul them away for a final last chow. Lena and Nina well understood how, like Bessie and Billy, to move us to wow. Sarah and Ursa were the jazz cats meow. Their memory must move us to take action now. Let's bring on the full black agenda, allow justice to reign, switch the arms for the plow, and cultivate fields, harvest fruits from the bough. Strange fruit gets strung up to rot even now. The athletes, the rap stars, this nation's cash cow, reminds us that none can afford to kowtow. Together, let's go and dispense with the row that keeps folks from getting full equal rights now. General Sherman and Lincoln one time wrote a vow. The debt is still owed for the sweat of the brow, for the cruel deaths and sufferings persisting till now. So the only right thing is to promptly endow, all aid us. It's surely the only way how to make restitution. So cut the check now. That's it.
Give it up for my caller, y'all. Go ahead, man. Very good, man. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome.
Good job.
Y'all have a good evening.
You too. Give it up for Lynn one more time, y'all. That was nice. Hey, cut the check. There you go, Johnson. She did it all poetical and stuff. I like that. That's right. No other way. Got to endow. Get it done now. Sweat from the brow. Pow, pow, pow. Okay, 778, you are live. What's your name? What is your comment, 778?
Hey, my name's Paul, and I'm calling from Canada, Tim. And I wanted to get into some of the conversations that are revolving around the media, and in particularly how Black media is often perceived. Lately, I've been sort of going through some of your old school content. I subscribed to you about 4 to 5 months ago, but I've been going into some of the content related to maybe 7 to 8 months ago, where you discuss a lot of these issues, especially some of these issues tied to the sort of online or specifically left-wing online politics. The issue is that most of these audiences, especially related to whiteness, don't necessarily enjoy political content that revolves around centering Blackness. So for most of these populist left figures, the idea of reparations is quickly dismissed. It's quickly denounced because it's viewed through the perception and lens of whiteness, because whiteness is center in their political worldview. So it's viewed as, well, reparations, we can't support that. Everybody knows that whiteness, specifically the white non-college educated voter, will never accept that reality. So they quickly dismiss it, quickly remove Blackness away from the sort of mainstream discussion. But the real divide is found right here between your Black identity politics and the white identity politics they play. Because if we ask your audience, and let alone if we ask you, reparations, HR 40, that has to be at the forefront of the politics. That's a 1 + 1 = 2 type of answer. But the problem is we're living in different worldviews. So we're seeing things differently and we're relating to things differently, and we have a different conceptual viewpoint of politics. Their politics is white identity politics, and you can even tie it to the broader corporate media as well. But this identity is Black identity politics. So the deeper question is, who said that we have to construct a reality catered to the whiteness and specifically the white non-college educated voter? Why can't we construct a political worldview that centers Blackness? But that's where the divide manifests itself, because whiteness has deeply bigoted held views. And you even talked about how 30 to 40% of these individuals are deeply bigoted in this left-wing audience. I would say 80 to 85%. I think maybe they'll last about 3 videos that's Blackness centered, and they're probably going to move on with their lives. It gets to the question that the caller was asking earlier, how long will they last? Maybe they'll last about 3 to 4 videos. That's about it. Their bigoted views will get in the way, and then they'll move on with it. That's the real issue that's found, is which identity should be centered, and I would argue it should be Blackness, specifically tied to African descendants of slavery.
Paul, my brother. Wow, Paul. You know, the only, look, give it up for Paul, y'all. Paul, he came in and just really dropped some bombs, some truth bombs. And I appreciate your perspective on this, Paul. I would submit to you, though, brother, I'm just out for justice. It's not even about, brother, it's not just about it being centered in Blackness. It's that it's a justice claim. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, a couple years ago, we remember No Dapple. Dakota Access Pipeline was running through their land. That was in charge. They wanted to run the pipeline through their land. And I stood with those people on that issue. It's a justice issue. I didn't see it as a Native American, indigenous people's issue. though those were the people that were impacted by it. I saw it as a justice issue. When there's an issue concerning women, for instance, I don't see it as a women issue. I see it as a justice issue. But there's something very distinctive about black issues. Issues that concern black people at the forefront. Even when you can focus and say, this issue is an issue of justice. And what could be more of an issue of justice than people having to work for centuries without compensation? And then another 100 years under extreme discrimination, redlining, abuse, segregation. What could be more of a justice issue than being able to make those people, to give those people the opportunity to be able to compete in a country, in a capitalist society that was created by them, largely by them? So I look at it as a justice issue, my brother. Unfortunately, media is a business. And that's, as much as I want to say that it's, as much as I want to say that it is a issue of just race, and them not wanting to focus on race, let's cut to the chase, brother. I've been doing this so long. I remember when Ring of Fire had no black people associated with it. And I contacted Ring of Fire, and I had some words with some people there. And then they got Ben Dixon. He doesn't even know this. If he was with them before then, I don't know, but I know that after I questioned them on their lack of diversity and in their anchors, all of a sudden, like a couple months later, they had Ben Dixon. TYT didn't always have Rashad Ritchie. I've been doing this long enough to remember when there was no one there except the brother who did graphics or something. He wasn't even a main person, like a person that gives news. He wasn't an anchor. I forget his name now. I'm sorry. Cool guy, I like him. Guy with the dreads or whatever, the locks. And that was, I think that's a direct answer. I think Rashad Ritchie was a direct answer to we got to have some black people here. But there has to be an audience for it. And it has to stay on a white code, so to speak. Like if you start talking too much about black issues, I think that's going to be part of it. But I think it's also economically driven. So as you pointed out, it's racial, but it's also economics. Because entities have no problem. Now, if we're just talking strictly independent, maybe I see your point. We start talking about networks like Ring of Fire, TYT, and there are other entities. If there's money to be made, people want to make that money. If the market is calling for a certain thing,
90 seconds,
and it's advantageous to bring on a black face to do it, they will do that if that's advantageous. So it's not just black and white issues. Sometimes I think it's also, they don't think there's money in a black face. Yeah, black faces talk about white issues. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So I agree with you, and I
60 seconds.
also want to add that there's other things in there as well. Because there's never been a shortage of white guys wanting to capitalize off of black talent. Take the music industry. You know what I'm saying? Music industry is a perfect example. I mean, up until only 20 years ago, maybe even, not even that far back, maybe 10 years ago, most musicians were getting signed by white organizations. I mean, it's a new phenomenon with people like Master P coming out, putting out their Ludacris, putting out their own music under their own independent labels, not relying on a white organization to put out their content. So things have really changed. But up until then,
10 seconds.
There was no problem with a white company hiring black people to then make the lion's share of the money and give you a nice car. Anyway, man, Paul, I appreciate you, man. I do, brother. Give it up for my caller one more time, y'all. And that's not to say that there aren't some people who, I'm picturing some people right now, brother, who I know they really have no connection to the black community at all. So why would they talk about it? My thing is, if you don't feel that this is something that's natural for you to discuss, I get that. I'm picturing some people right now. Hell, there's some black folks who I don't think it's natural for them to discuss black issues. When I listen to them and look at them, I'm like, I don't feel that they're really rooted in the culture, in the black culture. But you could promote and assist others who are. But that was when I was on some, we need to fight together so that we can win elections because it matters. And now, I don't know now, brother. I don't know now. I don't know if that's even possible. I don't know. Maybe I'll feel better after tonight. I'll get a drink or something. Talk to Iron Man Oz for a couple hours. 980, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment? 980.
Hey, Tim Black, it's your friend Andre Gale. How you doing?
Andre, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I went back to college like 2 months ago, so it's been kind of challenging to watch your show, but I try to watch it every now and then. And tonight was one of those nights when I'm doing the research paper, so I'm typing away, and I'm listening to your show in the background. So, as always, thank you for doing what you're doing. And look, what I wanted to share, the reason I call is because listening to a couple of your shows before in the week and today, one conversation that I had with a friend came to mind, and she brought to mind a video that I saw of Dr. Joy DeGruy. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She was speaking in front of a crowd of police officers explaining some of the deep history, the very deep history about Black people in America and everything they have gone through beyond slavery and the effects that it has had on people from one generation to another. And she explained something very curious. A lot of people don't know that science studies have showed that you can carry trauma in your DNA and pass it on from one generation to another in such a way that your children can flinch or react to something that they have never experienced because the mother did and the father did. And the reason I bring that up is because one of the things that I really feel, and this is my very personal empirical perspective, I feel that for us to actually enact a Black agenda, we might need a whole lot of therapy. And the reason I say that is because I think that we need to get our minds right to do all the things that we need to do. You remember, I don't know if you remember one of the other times that I've called, I say that we need to have a plan. And I always say that we need to have a plan. We need to have a mission. But if we don't have our minds right, how can we do all the large number of things that we need to get done? Because everything that we need to get done requires for us to be in the right mindset and in the right heart set. Because, if we are messed up, our focus can easily be distracted. We can fill voids and get distracted from the mission that we have at hand. You remember that fool that you put a video about, it was some college professor saying that we need to stop buying Louis Vuitton bags and we need to stop spending our money and this and that. If we had our minds right, no one would have to tell us to do that, because we would be spending every last single dollar exclusively on our agenda, or at least most of it, because let's keep it real. We need to entertain ourselves. We need to do other stuff. But if we had our minds in the right place, no one would have to beg us to support our Black businesses. No one would have to beg us to create another green book listing every single Black-owned business in the country, and much less begging us to support those businesses first before we go anywhere else. No one would have to beg us to do any of those things that we need to do if we want to create the financial power to come up to these powers that be and say, hey, we have the goods. And if you don't take care of us, you are not going through. You are not passing. But for that power to have, we need to really harness our power. And for us to be able to do that, we need to fix our minds. Because guess what? If we have this low self-deprecating image of ourselves from past trauma that has not been addressed, how are we going to inject that value into saying, I am going to withhold my pleasure, not go to this, not pay for that, and invest in my people? And another reason we probably don't invest in our people is because we look at ourselves in that same way, that we are not valuable. What you were saying about the TV show, that people probably don't see interest in it. Maybe, yes, the presenters are not interesting, but if we had this value that, you know what, we are worth it, it could be mediocre. I remember when Black Panther came out, and there were tons of memes, and I'm sure you probably came across them. And it's just like, y'all low-key know that we are going to support this thing even though it's bad, right? Right? There were tons of memes about Black Panther out there. But that's the mindset that we need to have. That joy that people were seeing, like Africa come alive and Africa being at the forefront, we need to have that spirit. So in closing, I want to say another thing that came up in a conversation with that good friend. She said that the white man knew that he had to do the job once because he knew the black man would continue doing the work for them. And what she meant by that is that all he needed to do was break us down morally and mentally, because he knew how psychology works and that we would continue damaging ourselves. So I know it's not the it-all and end-all, but I do believe that a great part of the work reconstruction that we need to do is reconstruction of our minds and our hearts, so that then we will see the value in our blackness to support our blackness above anything else first. Thank you for allowing me this little soapbox. You are doing God's work. Thank you for being there and doing what you do, and have a wonderful weekend.
Andre, my brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you for that great comment. Wow. Trauma. Yes. Yes. It is. I catch myself at times, brother, and I say, damn, why am I being negative? Everyone has their own demons, and those are the ones you know about. What Andre's referring to are the things that that are subconscious, that are latent in the DNA. That's what Dr. Joy DeGruy was talking about. And I am a fan of her work. Yeah, deep stuff, man. Deep. One of the things one of the complaints is that when you say that you are a black network, you need to be a black network. You can't be a network owned by an Indian dude. That's the problem. Like, people are going to look at it that way. I get their point, but if it was really black, you'd overlook it. So that's just, I think, let's face it, if you got a corporation, you're going to have investors. And those investors are going to be whoever. Anybody can invest in a corporation. So I don't know if that's really the issue. I get it, but it only becomes an issue when you feel like the work is not centered in in the natural, organic, cultural, it's not dipped in, covered in, laced in, heartbeat of, blood searing through the veins, black. When you can sense it's something else. And look, this corporation, this corporate America, this capitalistic America, this thing, that's white America. That's a Western thing. You know what I'm saying? So, the shirt and the tie and the boo-boo, that's white America, man. That's capitalistic white America. I'm not saying, hey, I spent 20 years working in it. So I'm not, more than 20 years. So I'm not saying that it's, about 20 years. Before that, because I started before 20. So I'm not saying that it's all bad. I've been a part of it. But that's what it is, though. And don't get me twisted. I mean, there are white women and men as well who went out of that system too. They like, man, I don't want to wear this damn tie. Got to do this dumb shit. And why I got to do this? And I don't want to wear a blazer. What is this? So don't get it twisted. I understand that everybody wants it that way. But that form of that corporate, pretend that, that whole shtick, that fake it till you make it, that all of that is, that's just my critique. And like I said, we all have opinions. It could be something else. But I think if it was authentically and you felt authentic and it was real and they were killing it, that would not be an issue. And I also want to speak to one last thing before I go to the next call. Andre said about people buying black. And I want my people to know, when Andre says people need to buy black, I don't want you to feel like that's discriminating against white people, because black people buy white a lot. The problem is white people don't buy black a lot. Do you understand? There have been studies done. You can go look these up. When people buy, they prefer to buy white. Even black people. There have been studies done that if I sell something even on the internet and they know it's from a black person, they won't buy it, or they won't pay the higher amount for it if they buy it at all. The way you get over on the internet is you don't show who you are. But if you're white and you can show who you are, that's a benefit. That's a plus. Some people say it'd be better for me not to put myself in my thumbnails. I don't think white guys question that. Yeah, I don't think the average white guy, not maybe based on their looks, like, I don't know if I look good, if I'm attractive, that may be what the white person thinks, but I don't think they sit and think, oh, I'm going to be discriminated against because I'm a white guy. Are people going to question if I know what I'm talking about? Are they going to say I'm not knowledgeable enough? These are all stigmas of being black that we deal with on a daily basis. So when we say buy black, it's because other people are not. Other people are not. I was looking at a survey, y'all. One study about diverse businesses. Black businesses have the most diverse businesses. Black businesses hire more Latinos and white folks than other businesses the other way around. Get what I'm saying? Black small businesses hire more white folks and Latinos and Asians than Asians hire black folks. Then white folks hire black folks. Then Latinos hire black folks. We hire more. Our businesses are the most diverse businesses when it comes to ethnicities under our small businesses. There have been studies on all of this. So what I get a lot when we bring up issues like this, there will be people who say just because you bring up an issue, you are racist. They don't do any research. As soon as they hear anyone say black or race, they say racist. No, what I'm telling you is black people need to tell black people to buy black because we can't get enough white people to buy black. And we can't get enough Latinos to buy black. We can't get enough Asians to buy black. Because once they realize it's a black person running the business, all of a sudden they go somewhere else. And obviously I'm not talking about everybody, because some of you are white and you're sitting right here buying black. So it's not everyone. It doesn't have to be everyone to be true. Know what I mean? All right. 916, you still there? Yes. 916, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
What's up, my dear brother? This is Information Man. I've been listening to you tonight, and I want everybody to know this, and I want you to know this, that we cannot underestimate and undervalue and marginalize what we do on social media. We bring and talk about these stories from a perspective that mainstream news does not give, Brother Black. And on top of that, mainstream media is looking at what we're doing. That's why they're pushing their content to YouTube, because they see that we're able to galvanize the audience and give a perspective that they cannot give. When it comes to the racial issue, my brother, I heard a young man speaking before. It's called cultural conditioning. We're culturally conditioned to see white is right, black is wrong. If you're black, get back. And as a result of that cultural conditioning, we're underestimated, undervalued, and marginalized. We'll be marginalized by the larger society. And we also do it to each other as black people. When we talk about buying black, and we have black people who have brought into this white man's ice is colder than the black man's ice. And the reality is that we have to get out of that type of thinking, that type of mentality. Tim Black, do you hear any other racial group in this country who says, let's support our community and our own? Are they called racist? Are they given pushed at as looked at as prejudice? The Jewish community certainly supports their products, their businesses. Every other group supports. It seems when black people ask to support each other, now we're being told that we are dividing. And that's how they get us. That's how the game is played. And this is the shame, brother. I wanted to bring this up to you. I did a video talking about the homeless problem, specifically amongst black men in Atlanta, Georgia, where they are about to spend $38 million on a dog shelter, while only spending, I believe it's about $3.5 million to further assist the homeless issue in Atlanta, Georgia, a city that we thought was run by black folks, but I question that. And as a result, I don't want to see people being harmed or taken out or harmed in any way in the war that's happening in the Ukraine. But however, the Biden administration had no problem cutting a $8 billion check to assist them. They had no problem coming up with another $3.4 billion, I believe, if I'm correct, on bringing people over from Afghanistan due to whatever deal that they had with them when they were working for them. But when black people stand up and say, hey, we want to get assistance, we have some problems. Wait a minute, you owe us a debt, America. It's called reparations. They tell us, Tim Black, we have to do a study, as if John Hope Franklin and all the other black scholars haven't given us all the myriad of content to let us know exactly how this whole thing happened. So this is why black people become frustrated in America when people want to know this about the voting, about how things are going in our favor, because we see other groups get whatever they want. Then this is an article I want you to look up, brother, as I begin to conclude here. It's called Republicans Blame Democrats for Crime, but new data shows that higher murder rates or crime rates as it relates to taking people's lives are in red states. Check this out. Just bear with me. In all 8 of the 10 states with the highest per capita of people getting their life taken away, I don't want to use the other word because of YouTube, you know how they censor rates in the country, voted for Trump in 2020. None of those 8 states have been carried by Democrats since 1996. Mississippi had by far the highest rate of people being killed at 20.5 killings per 100,000 residents, followed by Louisiana at 15.79, Alabama, Kentucky, Missouri, and all had killing rates higher than 14 per 100,000 compared to the national average of 6.5. The only states that voted for Biden to appear in the top 10 are Georgia, a longtime Republican stronghold that went blue by a tiny margin in 2020, and New Mexico. Check this out. The largest blue states that have attracted criticism from Republicans had killing rates significantly below the national average. That's New York rate was at 4.11. in killing per 100,000 residents. In California, it was at 5.59, according to the study. In Mississippi, murder or killing rates was about 400% higher than New York and 250% higher than California. So anytime, folks, a Republican or one of these Trump cult followers tell you that blue states are the problem, that Democrats or progressives are running states that have the highest crime rates, particularly when it comes to taking people's life, they're a lie and their lips should be sealed, because it is these red states that these Republicans represent when they push those narratives. That was a new study that just came out. You can find that in the Salon article, SALON. Republicans blame Democrats for crime, but new data shows higher rates in red states. This is the game that they play with us, Tim Black. They play the psychological game, the misinformation game, and they marginalize black people when we have needs as citizens in this country. It's a damn shame, my brother. Thank you for the time that you've given me.
Give it up for my brother, Information Man, putting it down, brother. Damn, that was something, brother. Go ahead now. Made me feel proud knowing you, my brother. You know, and that's how I'm supposed to feel. That's how I'm supposed to feel. I feel good, man. I feel warm, man. Like, my heart is warm, man. Listen to you. Kill it like that. I'm proud of you. Proud to know you, brother. Yes. One more time for Information Man, putting it down like that. Oh, but that's a G. That's a G right there. Now I know why you got your name, brother. Damn. That was strong. And a hell of good information to have for a debate with a conservative. Yeah, I'm going to need you, Information Man, when I go debate Ben Shapiro. Now, maybe you should debate him. 312, let me go one more call. 312, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim. It's Tony here.
Tony, what's up, brother?
Hey. It's been an emotional week, Tim. I've been watching Jordan Sheridan on Status Quo. All week he's in Florida covering Ron DeSantis' assault on queer people with
Tony. Tony, my brother. My brother. Tony. I don't know what happened there with you, Tony. What happened, brother? What happened, brother? What happened? Try to call back in, Tony. 360. I tried you earlier, and then I didn't hear you when I put you in. 360.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I got you now. Who's this?
All right. Jamim Mason, Washington State.
Jamim, okay.
I appreciate that information. Yeah, I appreciate that stuff about the justice they're trying to put in. You know, I come from a half black. I am half black, half white. So definitely call myself the best of both worlds. And you know, it was when I see someone step up and they're about to, you know, for my whole life, I've always thought, oh yeah, you know, let the black community in there. If they get power, you know, that's what we need. And it was kind of like the other day, because I've really been into this activist stuff for about a year and a half. And the other day, the first thought in my head when I saw Jackson, and she's well spoken, she's very, carries herself well, she's not letting the people. So I was like, yeah. And then I got off the thing. I got off the news, got on the internet, and I seen, people on Twitter talking about what you were talking about tonight. And I'm like, man, ain't that something? Any person with blackness to them that steps up to that plate in a position of power, they had to do something ugly, to a lot of us, or in a situation. It's just sad, man, because like these people genuinely, the only way you can get in there and fight, the only way you can do that is if you have somehow worked for them or played with them on their games, and there's just crap. And it's hard. You kind of look at anybody in a position like that now. As a black man, I'm thinking, dude, you're a POS. For some reason, you had to have done something somewhere. And it's just, it's hard to come from, born and raised in America, and you've raised in their culture and the ignorance that we've been force fed. And it's just like, man, this whole life has been a lie. The last year and a half that I've been opening my mind and really listening and paying attention and feeding my mind, like all I see is how ugly this world has been to the black community. And I'm just asking us all, no matter where you come from, no matter what put us first, man. Put us first, because we've always been on the bottom. I appreciate letting me get on here, say my piece, and thanks for doing what you do. I'll yield the floor.
You got it, brother. Give it up for Jermaine, brother. Wow. Yeah. What to say to that? I don't know, man. I don't know what to say to that. That's interesting. The best of both worlds, huh? The best of both worlds. Yeah. One of them is a very expensive world. Yeah, it is, Johnson. It's a very expensive world. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. So, I just want to keep it positive. I'm not going to say anything negative about anyone. There's no reason to. We had a great night tonight. Had a lot of great calls. Good up for everyone who called in tonight, who put their voice on the line, Johnson. That's it. It ain't easy to do it. It's not easy. You just know people are listening, and you're like, I know I'm going to say something wrong. I know I'm going to say something wrong. But you guys did very well tonight, man. I want to thank you for helping carry the show tonight. You came through. So I appreciate that. And let's just keep the party going, Johnson. Now, if you watch this show tonight, you thought, okay, this is a good show, good people. We do this every Tuesday. And every Friday, we open up phone lines. So come back here on Tuesday, same thing. Friday, going to be here the same place. Also, Mondays and Wednesdays, we have the Pause podcast. It's a video podcast, live show. So come be a part of that. And if you're wondering, what's the next step now? Okay, you found a community, you found there's just some good people here, you're in the chat, or you're on the phone, or whatever. The next step is you become a member of the show. You become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. It's a lot of great people that are members of the show right now. Those people keep the show going. We would not exist if we relied on ads, because they don't give us ads like that. We would not exist if we relied on donations from corporations, because we don't get those. So we exist because of people who become members of the show. So that's the next step, If you're wondering what's this show about, it's about becoming a member of this community. And when that happens, you're embraced by the community. We support each other, we talk about issues, and we are together. So that's a beautiful thing. I'm going to give it up for all those members that are on Patreon. Go to jointimblack.com. Jointimblack.com. So, we got other stuff, but that's like the main thing. Also, we're trying to schedule out, come the end of the spring, because I got to get out, Johnson. I'm tired of being on the internet. I got to go and be live, in person, in a couple states, couple cities in a couple states, and we're still working that out. So, more to come about that. But we're looking like late May, setting up like a little mini tour, just to see how it goes. I mean, other people do it. Why can't I do that? Why not? What's wrong with me? I could go out and tour, do some stuff live, have people, and do the damn thing. I've done it before. But that was always with someone else. I was always their tour. I was invited on their events. So it's time to do a little Tim Black tour. So let us know what you think about that. All right, guys, that's it. Much love to you. Let's read the comments. Andre Gale, once again, context matters in the house. My brothers. Tony D. Tony said, Cory Booker didn't say nothing in that clip. You're right, he didn't say a damn thing. Silly Boo in the house. Silly says, I support the channel because Tim drops black knowledge bombs. Booyah. I try to. Thank you, Silly Boo, my sister. Ramona called up. Ramona says, mainstream media is wall-to-wall coverage of the sad plight of Ukrainians. And sad it is. Seems they're worthy victims because they're mostly white and first world. That's what she was trying to say. I thought that's what I was pretty sure that was your point, Ramona, but I'm glad you took the time to type it out. It's not easy sometimes on a phone call conveying your points exactly. So I'm glad you did that. Thank you. Keith Weston. All right, so Keith says, great session tonight, Big Brother TB and the Johnson family. I'm going to finish out this night. We watch the session when I get home and take care of the Wolfpack family. Hashtag cut the check. Hashtag we need ours. Hashtag Freedom Friday. Hashtag Black First. Luke Kang in the house. Luke Kang, what's up, fam? Stay black. Wolfpack. Luke Kang in the house. Keith Weston. We need a Tim Black and Information Man show together. We're going to get one. We're going to do it, Johnson. If Information Man is down, we're going to do that. Tell the truth, Wolfpack. Support Black independent media. We're going to do it, Keith. Don't worry, Johnson. That brother came in here and said, bow. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. I do. I need to hang out on the Information Man show sometimes. Anthony Lamont. Oh, listen to this, guys. Look, black and unbought. Black and unbought. Black and unbought. Ain't that something? Look at God. Look at God. Oh, man. I'm going to tell y'all guys. I don't want us to be so focused. I got to say this. It doesn't matter. How can I say this? I want to say it doesn't matter the color of the person, long as they fight for you. You know what I'm saying? I want to say that because that feels right. And it doesn't matter the color of the person if they don't fight for you. You understand what I'm saying? It's the other way too. So I know there are going to be people that disagree, but I'm trying to tell you, We got to get in people's head about the other way, too. You disagree when I say they don't have to be black. They got to fight for you. Well, they ain't got to, look, they got to fight for you even if they are black. Some of us are fooled thinking because somebody black that they fighting for us. When they fighting for themselves, Johnson. I try not to sometimes. I'm like, Tim, you got to tone it down, Johnson. You go too ham. And then I get up here and I go biggity, biggity, black, 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 super black, black, black. I'm like, damn it, Johnson. Didn't I tell you, Tim Black, not to do it so black? I don't got a script, man, and it's what I feel. And something comes up, I talk about it. I keep it 100. It's because it's who I am. I'm not putting it on. So, if you're a white person or Asian person or Native American person, I expect you to stand up for justice regardless to who it is. And all I'm telling you is, cut the check. That's what America needs to do. You don't need to cut shit. You probably didn't do a damn thing. America needs to do that. Just like America needs to stop funding or stop spending money with the Saudis. Stop supplying arms with the Saudis. That ain't got nothing to do with you or me. It's what they need to stop doing. Right? Get what I'm saying? So that's justice. Let's be for justice, y'all. Man, I remember, man, I always bring up this story, folks, about one of these car manufacturers that had bad brakes. They had bad brakes on some of their models. They had a defect in the brakes. People were crashing. All of a sudden, no, it was accelerator pedals. The accelerator would go from 0 to 100, like boom. Anybody heard about this? Just out of nowhere, the accelerator, the brake wouldn't work or something. It was a malfunction in the brake and the accelerator. Imagine you're about to stop your car and instead of it braking, it accelerated. There were a number of people that lost their lives because of these faulty brakes. And that was such devastating news, such devastating press, that when they realized they had this problem, this defect in some of their vehicles, they had to make a decision. Do we do a massive recall of all these vehicles? Take the publicity hit that'll stay with us for who knows how long? Or do we just quietly settle the lawsuits and keep it close? Now, quietly settling the lawsuit would keep a number of vehicles out on the road that were defective and cause what? More death. You know what they chose to do, right? It killed people unnecessarily. They knew people were going to die. And they made a calculated judgment that the amount of money that they would spend, or they would lose, I should say, doing a recall, and all the implications of a brand damage and rebuilding their brand, that it would be better to pay off the families of the deceased than it would be for them to take the hit publicly. That's the country we live in. That's America. That's a corporation. Now, I don't know if that was an American corporation, but that happened in America. It happened right here. And that car manufacturer still produces cars here because they pay money. You would think after a company did something like that, they'd never be able to sell another vehicle in your borders ever again. Get the hell out. But money talks. So my point is, man, we need to be about justice. And there's all types of injustice. All types. Anthony Lamont, appreciate you, brother. Anthony Malecki. KBG equal reparations according to white moderates. That's another thing, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. One of the reasons why it was my job to torch Cory Booker. It was because the way he was tap dancing about KBJ, the way he was putting it on about KBJ, one of the reasons why it was important for me to torch Cory Booker is because the way he was putting it down for KBJ, the way he was talking as if she was the second coming of Christ, the way he was articulating her possible confirmation as if it was the skies virtually opening up and showering black people with manna from the heavens, was that it could be misinterpreted that, oh, there go your reparations, it's KBJ. And don't say I'm crazy. Before you do, there were people that said, you got Obama. All done here. So whenever we're talking about an individual getting a position, that's great for them, fantastic. They got nothing to do with the rest of us. This is for America. So talk to me about what you're going to do for America, because she has made no vows to do anything for black people. And just by the virtue of her being black, does that mean it's a win for us as human beings in America, in a capitalistic society where we have been held down structurally by the government, by a system, either by law or by practice. So don't come at us with that nonsense. And that's the fear. That's the risk that's run with these fools running around talking like, oh my God, we have arrived. Well, since you arrived, shut up and stop asking for reparative justice since you arrived. Damn, that's all it took. Give one of y'all a job. It's a good way to dodge responsibility. Thank you, Johnson. Zan TV. Come to Detroit. What's up, Zan? Shit, I need to. I thought about coming to Detroit. When I went to Ohio, I was going to go to Detroit. No, when I went to Chicago. When I went to Chicago, I was going to go to Detroit. I think that's what it was. But I didn't. Andre Gale says those Cadillac commercials got people thinking black people are doing fine. That's another thing. I hate it, Andre. I hate that. Man, I hate it. See, that's the thing. Let me read this. What's worse, they got us buying from a car company that was allegations of racial discrimination instead of spending on our own people. Hashtag stay woke. Aaron Johnson. Cory Booker has it wrong, Johnson. Most people don't know all the nonsense, all the garbage, all the horrible things that America has done to black folks. Hell, they don't know the horrible things America's done to them. Like, they really don't know, Johnson. They really don't know. They don't know the history. It's suppressed. It's suppressed. Aaron Brockovich, we talked about it. The water being tainted, people catching the cancers. That's not isolated. These are not one-offs. It's all across this country. Corporations who do horrible things and then pay a little bit of money and keep it moving. And a government that allows it. Experimented upon. Do you know how many black people died to this day from lack of going to the hospital or going to a doctor just because of the stigma, the leftover trauma from knowing about the Tuskegee experiments? That sticks with you. Back in your head. Do I trust this? You think white people are concerned? I'm sure there were some white experiments too, Johnson. I'm sure they were. Because see, lack of humanity, I think it extends to all. You know what I'm saying? I think there were some others that we don't get publicized as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we cornered the market on America abusing people. Particularly inmates. I could see some things being done to inmates. Information Man Show, Tim Black is the truth. You the truth, dog. Come on, man. Respect, brother. Yeah, man, I gotta, I'm making some changes, dog. They say, if you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, you go together. What? So, Uncle Ron says, let's not forget about North Carolina sterilizing black women. What? Uncle Ron in the house, Johnson. Uncle Ron. Good to see you, brother. Another friend of the show, been around for 10 years. Or close to it. All right, guys. It's been a great night. I feel good. I feel upset, but I also feel empowered. It feels good to be home. Damn, it feel good to see people up on it. Because I remember when they wasn't. Now guess what they caught from my cousin? The vapors. All right, guys, that's it. Have a great weekend. Be safe. I'll see you over the weekend. Visit the channel, watch a video, share it with a friend. My name is Tim Black. Find me at Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. Tim Black and that on Instagram. I'm even on TikTok. I'm crazy like that. Crazy. Hanging with the kids, Johnson. Nancy Drew, thank you. To my moderators, Xavier Melford, Courtney in the house. Thank you so much. Doing what you do, Sign of the Times. Keith Weston, thank you guys for moderating. My members, Tony DeMio, Lady Jackie, Violent Content Boutique, Anthony Malecki, Andre Gale, Information Man Show, Nancy Drew, Murder Mysteries, Ramona in the house. Get your name in green so I can shout you out, Johnsons. All y'all, get your name in green so I can shout you out on the show. Come on, man. Come on, Steve Warwick. You've been here for a long time. Aggravated Progressive, you knew, but come on now. It's $5. Lateef, what's up, Lateef? Give it up for Lateef. Come on now. All that talking. Luke King, you not a member. What's wrong, man? Luke King, what's up? Rain Strom, you not a member? I'm upset, Rain. I see Rain too much. Rain, I see you too much for you not to be a member of this show. What is going on? Lateef, a.k.a. Khaleesi's Dragon. What's up? Come on now. Sealy Boo got that wrench out. Craig R in the house. Thank you, Craig R. What's up, man? My brother. Craig R been around for a while, too. Craig R, old head. Old young head in the house. Old young head. All right, that's it. Can I get one new member? Rich K, can I get one new member? Just one. I'm going to shut up if I get one new member, Johnson. One person that signs up tonight while we on this thing. Because, see, I gotta, come on now. It's only right, Johnson. It's only right. Just one. You know what I mean? Just one, Johnson. Go on. Craig R, old school brother. That's what's up. Oh, okay. Welcome back. We'll see how we're going to see how this, let's just try it out. Listen, new member, Nora Mamim, what? Nora, you will always, give it up for Nora. Or Nura. Is it Nora? Nura Mamim. Now, Nora Mamim, I already thought this was a member. But I'll take it. Because I seen you around, Nora. You've super chatted before. I know I shouted you out. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining this wolf pack. We appreciate you. Thank you. I gotta go pour a drink. And now I'm able to do it. Because you know I see you around. Christine Estrada. What's up, sister? All right. That's all right. And I got a good pronunciation of your name, too. Nura. All right. All right, so look, guys, don't let nobody take your cornbread. Don't do it. That's your cornbread. All right? You gotta be letting people take your cornbread. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? That's your cornbread. Let somebody come up here and take your damn cornbread. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Let the Democrats take your cornbread. Let the Republicans take your cornbread. Come on now. Now, we don't do that. You gonna eat your cornbread? Oh, guys, I'm gone. I'm talking too much. I'm out of here. I love my work. I love you guys. Be safe. Cut the check. Wolfpack.
Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't be fooled by corporate media talking heads misleading the people. Get your news and information from an entity that keeps it real. Tim Black. Tim Black is the host of The Tim Black Show. Independent news that leaves you informed, inspired, and sometimes entertained, but always in the know. Go to timblacktv.com and sign up today. The Tim Black Show is news for people who can't stand the news. See you there.
Let me ask you something. Do they know us? When I say they, I mean the talking heads on cable news. Do they know you? I mean, they talk about the world as if it's a sport. They play political games, report on our pain, rack our brain to feed the stock exchange, but do they know us? Do they know what we care about? Nope. They're too far away. They can't see us. They can't feel us. They can't relate to us. See, when you want to know what's going on in your world, trust someone who lives in your world. Subscribe.
Most news shows are suspect. They don't focus on Black issues, and when they do, it's all fluff. How does that help your life? How does that help your family? How does that help the culture? They don't. The Tim Black Show is different. Tim Black gives you news for people who can't stand the news. Real, authentic, researched, entertaining, on point. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Visit www.timblacktv.com today. Get Black breaking news, politics, culture from someone you can trust. timblacktv.com. Join us today.
Cool Streams TV with over 2,000. Cool Streams TV, the best streaming service in the world, with over 2,000 channels. Watch it anywhere on your Android or iPhone. Watch it on your tablet or any Fire device. Premium channels, network channels, pay-per-view sports. Direct access to 24/7 customer service. Go to CoolStreamsTV.com and purchase your subscription. Cool Streams TV. We are the best in the business.